What's up? So we talk 1, 2, 3 here. The AL East, very surprising playoff. Boston did not make the playoffs as they failed big time there, and a lot of criticism goes to where criticism should go. But obviously the players have gotten criticism, the manager has gotten criticism. One of the people that really haven't gotten much criticism is Theo Epstein, but he doesn't really deserve much criticism. He's done a really good job for the Red Sox GM, obviously getting them to the World Series and getting 2 World Series champions after that long drought. So, he's going to be very popular in the Boston for a long time. This was not a good way to end his career, though, and some people may think, you have a young GM like Theo, he'll probably be around for a while. Well, after the fallout, Terry Francona, I was surprised that the Red Sox actually let him go. He's not the manager anymore, and now Theo Epstein will not be the GM anymore. When the Cubs were looking at Theo Epstein, I knew they were going to get him. It just doesn't seem realistic that a manager from a team with crazy media like the Boston Red Sox that just had one of the worst collapses in history, probably the worst collapse in history, going into the last month of the season, getting rid of their manager, having a bad contract on a guy like John Lackey, and could be a bad contract on a guy like Carl Crawford. That deal is not really reviewed to its full extent yet. But I mean, really, this guy has worked really hard to develop a farm system and get free agents and make trades to where this team is going to be championship caliber. And it obviously is. This was, regarded as one of the best or the best team in baseball going into this season. Them and the Phillies, we're kind of predicted to go to the World Series or at least get really close. And for the Phillies to be out in the first round and for the Red Sox to not even make it, obviously a huge surprise there. When the Cubs started talking about the Cubs, they're looking for a guy just like Theo Epstein. They got new ownership, and I think if they go the route that the Red Sox go, where they get new ownership, they get a GM, they're going to work with the farm system, but also be aggressive on trade front and free agent, and really build a team that will actually last for many years, not just build it all on free agents that's just going to be around for 1 or 2 years. This Red Sox team, they've really built a very strong team outside. Maybe pitching is definitely a weakness, but offensively they've built a pretty strong team and have some decent prospects coming up. Obviously, making the trade for Adrian Gonzalez hurt their farm system in recent trades too. But really, in 04 and 07, they really put great teams out in the field, and they don't have a terrible farm system. They're putting teams that are going to be good for a while, and they obviously have the money up there where they can go out and get really good free agents. So Theo Epstein going into Chicago. A 5-year deal worth probably more than $15 million. So he's getting paid $3-something million per year. That's a lot of money for the Cubs to be paying for a GM, but they're getting high quality stuff there. Cubs fans, you got to be really excited about this. You get new ownership in Tom Ricketts. You get one of the best GMs out there, and now you're feeling good about yourself. Theo Epstein's a guy who, for the Cubs, he can really turn around this Cubs team. He's going to focus on the farm system. I think Tom Ricketts wants someone to focus on the farm system and really focus on scouting, player development, spend a lot of money in that, but at the same time progress each year. You're going to look at Theo, and all Cubs fans are going to have a renewed energy, kind of like, okay, who are they going to go after? Could they go after a guy like Prince Fielder? I personally don't think they're going to get Albert Pujols, but new GM, you never know what happens. Are they going to re-sign Carlos Pena? I could very well see that happening. Different free agents out there. Are they going to wait till next offseason? There's a lot of really good free agent pitchers next offseason until they spend the bulk of the money. But really, they have $50 million to spend this offseason, and what general manager wouldn't want to go to a team that has $50 million to spend, would be a hero if they get them to the World Series or win the World Series, and would be remembered for a long time for that. So he has a great opportunity in Chicago with some good young players, a lot of older players. The contracts are, whether to renew their contracts, whether to sign new guys, make trades. There's a lot of opportunities out there available, a lot of resources in Chicago, great attendance, great fans. So many people love the Cubs, even though, they just lose so much. But this is a chance for a guy to turn around a team. And, the Red Sox, World Series twice in the last few years, they're expected to win. Now he's going to a team where it's really, if they can win, everyone's going to love this guy. And he's obviously has a great opportunity in Chicago to make a name for himself there. He's already going to be famous in Boston for a long time for what he's been able to do there. But recent contracts, some contracts hasn't worked out the way he wanted for them to work out. Free agency is not just the cure all for everything. It's if you have problems in your team, if you just go to free agent and agency and pay this guy, overpay him, it doesn't just fix your team. Mike can prove it, but I think Theo Epstein realizes that, and he's learned from all of his mistakes in Boston and great things that he's done in Boston, to where I think he's going to do a really good job for the Cubs GM and hopefully build a team that. I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan, but I think it'd be good for baseball if the Cubs maybe not win the Central, but at least improve and at some point win the World Series. Again, I'm a Cardinals fan, but I'm saying that I think it'd be good if they at some point win the World Series. Maybe another 200 years, who knows? But this guy could actually do a lot of good for the Cubs. So, Cubs fans, be happy. Congrats to Theo Epstein. Theo Epstein will sign with the Cubs, and also Red Sox will receive a player or money because a possibility Brett Jackson, which would be a big win for Boston because he has 1 year left on his contract. So it's basically like making a trade for a guy. It's a GM. He's a new contract with the Cubs, but he had 1 year left with the Red Sox. So he's going to Cubs are going to have to send a player or money to the Red Sox for him. All right, thanks for watching Zombie Talk 1, 2, 3. Here we go.